Hello and welcome back to the fourth episode of the random modeling series in Blender. Today we will be modeling a tire swing and a cell phone. So let's go. I hope you enjoy. We're going to start off with the tire swing today. And to do so, I need a tree to dangle my tire swing off of, which I think could be pretty cool, and it adds a bit of height to the scene. Everything's pretty short other than the bottle on the other side. But this fits with like the autumn pumpkin patch theme. We can add orange leaves to the tree. And while I get those leaves now, I will append them. And you can't see my screen. And now I will get an icosphere and attach the geometry nodes to it. And the leaves will need to be changed colors, but I will displace it and use clouds. And I'm not sure where I want the leaves to go. Maybe in the middle or maybe on the edge. It kind of looks goofy where it is now. I feel like that's going to be the best way to do it. And maybe moving this down to create the best look. I might need to go into X-ray mode to make it look okay, because otherwise we're missing the back part. Yeah, X-ray mode definitely. And drag it down a little, and that's perfect. And shrink the end. Perfect. Now I think for the rope, I'll need to draw in a curve. I do that a lot, but I think that looks best in a lot of situations. And before that, I want to make the tree. I saw an interesting idea for making a wood texture without having to use a real image. So I'm going to try that here by mixing multiple textures and throw them into the color ramp. And then in a minute, I will grab another mix and add in one more node, texture node, and merge it. But right now I think even before the displacement is looking pretty good. It's not totally crazy, but I feel like once I add a wave texture, this could be a lot better. Now I'm going to try and add a little more displacement to the other nodes. I'm not sure how this is going to work. I've never really tried something like this, but that didn't really work. I think now the best thing I can do is just set the displacement down to a super small number and grab another mix and continue to grow the texture work. But now that's really looking good. The wave texture's distortion is really adding a wood-like shape to this, and I think that's looking really good. Make it darker, and really I have no complaints. Now I'm just going to change the leaf colors. I start off going for a little bit of a greener color, but then I realized that I think the orange is a little better here. And I just need the object info, and the green is definitely uglier. So I think I just need to get rid of that and make it so everything is orange. And that is definitely a little better. Get rid of all the greens, and leaving that little bit of green I think is okay, because otherwise I think it looks pretty good. But now we're actually going to draw the rope. It took me a minute to get to that point. And attach it to the tree. I feel like I could have looped it over the top, but I don't feel like doing that right now. Now we're going to do a similar system to what I just did by mixing the textures to add the wood, or not the wood, the rope texture to the rope. It's not going to be amazing. I've tried to make a rope texture for the yarn going across the other part of this diorama, but just add displacement now, and I feel like that does all it needs to do to be a rope. There's nothing crazy. Now it's for the actual tire that goes for the tire swing. I don't think the Taurus is going to cut it, honestly. I try and mess around with it here, but nothing really works and makes it so it meets the standards I want for it. I think a cylinder is definitely the best way to go here. If I scale that down, and tire swings sort of have like those weird, like a tire has a like that little, like it leaves a drop off in the middle, so I'm going to leave the open space in the middle of my tire, and I think that looks pretty good and saves me time having to deal with fixing it. Make it darker, and now we'll add the actual texture to it using grays, and I'm pretty sure I want to use a noise texture to change it up a little and try and give like the tire bump texture, which I will use a bump node to get that across. I don't know what the difference between a bump and a displacement is, but I think the bump worked perfect here. yes, the little like wet looking textures I think look perfect right now. Now, I don't know how this is gonna look. It kind of looks like there's a big wide opening. I feel like we could definitely fix that and shrink that down a little bit. Because, yeah, it doesn't really look like a tire swing totally right now. But I think that's definitely better. That thicker inside look is much more tire swing-esque. And maybe adding a little more, like, non-uniformness to the tire swing could help it. But I feel like making it being in the process of swinging really wasn't cutting it there. So let's move on to the cell phone. Now, the final step for today is to make the cell phone. I don't think I really have a plan for it other than, yeah, I really don't have a plan for it. I feel like you just got to get the bevel in, and I feel like once we get this, I'll figure out something. But I feel like an iPhone or like a typical modern cell phone really doesn't, it's kind of bland, honestly. So I feel like making it more of like a handheld, like iPod-esque device would be a little better, more like an older phone, sort of. Making the keypad here, I feel like that's pretty good. Scale that up, that looks good, I like that. Subdivide, I don't think that looks good. And smooth, yeah, I think we're just gonna have to live with this. I don't really have as much thought process on this. Make the back look a little like an old first generation iPhone. And now for the coloring, I'll do probably glass or reflective glossiness for the screen. That's good. And for the background, just glossy. And the back can be a solid dark color. I think that's pretty good. That's pretty much all I feel like I want to do for the phone. It's not amazing, but like, what am I going to do for a phone in this scene? I've done so many wacky things already that I feel like this is the best thing I can do, really. I was considering, I think, maybe adding a phone logo onto it, but I don't think that really matters. So, this is what the final is going to look like. Thank you for watching another one of these videos, and hopefully my quality keeps improving over this, and I'm having more fun. So, thanks for watching.